TVC Breakfast. I am Kemi Fola Adeyemo with Ibrahim Shita. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Hi.
Ibrahim, was it the other day we were talking about how the Hamatan appeared to be leaving us alone, but it looks like it's still not done with us.
It's here with full force. This morning I just left the office, went outside, and I realized that no, this is just really not friendly at all.
At all.
It's hazy, it's dusty, it's cold, and it's not hot actually. You know, sometimes you feel cold and hot at the same time, but then
we're still having it better though than people in other parts of the country, especially in the north, where of course we all know how Hamatan can be.
That's right.
In that part of the country. But duty calls, and here we are, ready to go. However, we're beginning on a sad note on the program today as renowned cultural icon Jimi Solanke passed on. The 81-year-old dramatist, folk singer, playwright, and poet passed on in the early hours of Monday this week after a brief illness. Now, I remember Sam Omasheye and I had an interview with him a couple of months ago, which happens to be his last TV interview on where he spoke about some of his collaborations with some legends and his journey in the entertainment industry. Let's take you back memory lane.
I won't let you go without talking about your collaborations with some people like Roy Chicago, Wale Soyinka, Eddie Okonta, Chris Ajilo. I know you wrote some songs like Unile Gogoro, Ore Titon, Na Today You Come, Kakino Be Leather, and so on and so forth. Tell us about your collaborations with some of these people and how those things have helped you to become the Solanke we know today.
I'm sorry, I am a very good person. I love being mentored. I love mentoring from people who have washed and swiped their coin. People who have merited respect and Abalaba dandies. They were very close to our house in Olonsogo, from Chicago, and so I could sneak in from the back gate to sneak in some compositions to them. Even when I was in school, that was Retiton, Nile Gogoro, Kakinobi Leather, and all that. So he was a good mentor. That's where I grew up in my interest in highlight music. And as for Wale Soyinka, when I went to the School of Drama, he was there. There were plenty there. They were all people who had hands in my wanting to be a serious performing artist. All of them, I can name them, but there will be no time for us to say about anything on this program. And I thank you for having had me.
But okay, so Ibudo Asha is up and running now, but how are you observing the state of the nation, insecurity, people thinking twice before they make travels, even essential travels? How do you view Nigeria currently, and where do we go from here? That will be a final word from you, but would appreciate if you can make it brief. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Back on boy, the people who are behind this, they know themselves. Soon, whatever it is, circumstances will reach them and they will stop disturbing the owners of the Nigerian land. That is all I can say about that. I believe that once I have asked some people to come to my party in my hometown and the place was full, only people who started leaving on time so they will not drive, night time or night price. I believe we will be scheduling our programs at the time that is safe. Start in the morning on weekend before 4 people would have enjoyed what we have packaged for them, and they would have taken up for their homes. And insecurity in Nigeria is a handiwork of a group of people, because it does not happen like this. It didn't happen when I was young. It didn't happen when I was growing up to get married. It didn't happen a long time after I've taken care of. Why should it be happening now? You see, when the people who wanted to take the sky, the cumulus of the sky was a very good thing to eat, but at times people will be so greedy and they wanted to take the whole thing for themselves. That is what is happening. They have done it. Well, how can ordinary people like that have money to buy bullets and guns? And there are some people behind it. Let the good beg them and talk to them to stop it.
Well, Pa Solanke, it's indeed such a delight and pleasure to speak with you at this time. Dramatist, folk singer, playwright, poet, a man indeed of many shades. Pa Jimi Solanke, the legendary. Thank you so much for speaking with TVC Breakfast. We wish
Pa Jimi Solanke there. However, the veteran actor, playwright, and singer passed on in the early hours of Monday, aged 81 years. And what a profound interview there, if I may say so. About a year ago, last year, when he clocked 81 years old, this was in July, and incidentally, he was born in the month of July. That interview was conducted about He was born in the month of July, and that interview was conducted about 4 days after his 81st birthday. And what struck me at first, because I was opportune to be among the crew that spoke with Jimi Solanke at that time, which, as we have said, was even his last TV interview. What struck me was how bright he was. It's somehow that we have to use that past tense as was, but he had such a bright mind, and he was so, vivid in all his points. He was so sharp. You could see that this is someone who is, very much in tune with realities. He still had so much to give. And even though it is sad that he has passed on, but then it's also gratifying to note that he didn't leave, without sowing seeds. My hope now, or rather my consolation, is that he would have, vested a lot of his talent into so many people around him, because this was someone with so much to give. And, looking at him, you could see that he lived, he had good health as well. So this is just saying that may his soul rest in peace. May the family be comforted by the rich legacies that he's leaving behind.
That's right. It's one way or the other, one will still feel sad in the fact that, based on the fact that such a man had to die, because there's this African proverb that says, an old man dies in Africa, a library burns, or an old man dies in Africa is like a library set ablaze. This is, speaking to their wisdom, their knowledge, things, their experiences, and, what they have to share. And thank God that, some of these things that he had done was, were documented. We were very young at the time, he was reigning supreme. In fact, he reigned till, to the last days. I remember Storyland, I can't really remember the...
Kind of music, fun and
that's it.
Storyland, bring your friends along.
Ancient of Days.
All right.
You remember this?
Right.
So
those were one of the most memorable parts of growing up.
That's right.
People born at the time would relate, how he was, the idea of the favorite dad, or no, let me say the favorite grandfather. I can't really calculate how old he must have been then, but
grandfather.
It was a
even
really
great grandfather.
Great grandfather, I should say, right? So it was a really, really memorable part of growing up. You know, many people would relate with the fact that Uncle Jimmy, as he was fondly called,
Uncle Jimmy,
you know, we always looked forward to spending was it Sunday evenings or was it Thursday evenings now with, you know, learning at the feet of Uncle Jimmy.
Uncle Jimmy, yeah. So, you know, it's an amazing time that, you know, is spent on the earth, and we can only pray that the Nigerian, the Nigeria as a country, let me just put it that way, remembers, you know, people like this, you know, by immortalizing them. They played a huge role in talking about drama, theater, poem, you know, etc. So it's just very important for the upcoming generation to, you know, tap from, you know, these old men, what they've done, how they've contributed, because whatever they did at that time was didactic. You know, you have a lot to learn as against, you know, the nudity that is being sold on TVs and all of that. So we can always, you know, go back to, you know, their works and, you know, tap from them, learn from them, and refine them to the betterment of the society.
Absolutely. His music will continue to live on, as well as all his other works. So, like you said, now, thankfully, his artistry was documented, and so we can continue to splurge on them. May his soul rest in peace. Of course, more announcements regarding